Without further ado, I'm going to pass over to Rohan Patel from SAP.
Cool. Thank you very much. Okay, there we go. So that's me. I think I've introduced myself maybe 3 or 4 times today, so I won't give you the pleasure of another introduction. And you're going to have to hear me talking all the way through because I've got no fancy videos or anything like that. But I'm going to tell you a story, a little less detail focused around how we have used Bold 360 within our portfolio of options that we're offering to our customers to really take them on a new journey with us. And it all started, I'd probably say, about 4 or 5 years ago when SAP as an organization moved from being an on-premise focused application company to transferring to become a cloud company. And one of the things that was understood very early on is that within the business that we wanted to be, and that's the entire business, not just our services and support area, we really needed to be delivering a best-in-class customer experience, because that was what we decided was going to define our success for the next 10, 15 years. And I think that's what really helped us generate a lot of interest and a lot of support for what it was that we wanted to implement, because it was part of a bigger journey, not just something that we felt, not a minor business problem that we wanted to solve, but really actually tie into a bigger strategy within SAP. And I'm a very big fan of outcomes, and it's really something that's helped us to drive the investment and really change the way in which we look at what we need investment for. And I think as we went through Neil's session earlier today, it's really helped us transform. Because if you're looking to fix a process that's broken, do we really need to? If you're trying to add an extra bit of functionality, okay, well, why is it? What's the benefit going to be? What's the ROI going to be? What's the value to the overall business, rather than just this tiny small part of the organization that traditionally is there in our organization to save costs and deliver a higher margin? So really, really changed. And I think we live in an organization today, or live in an environment today, where if you're not innovating, you're absolutely falling behind. And it's something we've really grasped onto, I'd say finally. It took us a long time to get there, but really grasping onto the fact that we have to innovate. And we're in this experience economy, like I've mentioned a few times, which presents its own challenge. Because if you're looking to provide a great experience, but yet trying to provide improved profitability and show better margins as a company, where is it that you sit? And how do you accomplish that? And we've really found that partnering and introducing and implementing Bold 360 within a bigger strategy as well has helped us to define that, because it's delivering amazing outcomes, and the data points that we see from our customers every day, the trends just sell themselves. And I'll come to that a little bit later. So it's really, really helped us. And we talk about live business needs live support. And I think I mentioned on the panel today, we don't want to be reviewing business that's happened in the past. We want to be operating in the here and now, or even, if possible, in where we're trying to be tomorrow and after that. And we call that next generation support, because we've got such a diverse landscape of consumers because of the technology that we have. And I think it's the same for many people out there. You're not only selling to one demographic, you're not only selling to one individual with one income base or whatever it might be. So we want to try and hit everyone. And that's really where we feel the value is coming from, again, in this partnership. Traditional SAP support, we did support for a while, and it was really just, okay, you got a problem, go and log it on the portal, someone will get back to you, hopefully be happy. If not, we'll figure it out. We might come back to you and see, okay, well, what can we do better? Maybe that's a year later. We talk about employee engagement. Again, a lot of us have annual surveys. Okay, great. How was your last year's experience? Oh, it was pretty crap. Oh, well, okay, well, we can't do anything about that because it's already finished. It's already in the past. But let's try and move on again. And that's a cyclical thing. So how do we start to do everything in a real-time scenario? And that's where we talked about next generation support. which is really trying to predict the needs of the market before they come. And we can't do that by ourselves. We get 1 million incidents per year within SAP. And we're using these applications to do technical support. Yes, we do use some of the chat functionalities within our customer services organization. But really, the core and the real benefit that our customers see is through technical support. And like I said, we get 1 million technical incidents per year. And now, up to, in certain business areas, certain product lines, 30 to 35% of all incoming incident volume is being done through the chat functionalities, regardless of the AI functionality on the front. So it's been really, really powerful for us. And then coupling that with AI self-service is just really putting us in the right direction. Self-service, incident prevention, we've talked about that. Everyone will have different strategies, knowledge-based articles, wikis, et cetera, but we do want to avoid incidents because that's where we push our margins. Not to save costs on the employees or how many resources we have, but to really drive high-value transactions. And I think the real benefit that we've seen and the way in which we've been able to buy in or get buy-in from the board level is to say we are in an experience economy. Once those software implementations have happened in our business, or once those, whether it's retail, whatever else might be, once that retail has happened, who is owning the customer experience? Because it's not about a one-off transaction anymore. It's about the next transaction and the transaction after that. And we, as a support and services organization, are the ones that own that customer experience. So yes, we want to avoid incidents, but it's about getting our real technical guys into those higher level transactions. And that's where we're really seeing the benefit because, again, that real-time interaction is speeding up that time to issue resolution. People are impatient. They don't care what software they've got, whether it's a BW implementation, whether it's ERP, or even whether, let's say, it's a cloud analytics topic. They want a consistent approach. They want to know what they're going to expect when they require and request a service. And for us, it's really driving that consistency. Digital support experience, we have within our products, if we look at our cloud applications, within each window frame, we have and we will continue to have in newer products, built-in support. So within each window frame, okay, these are the most known issues for people who are interacting within this frame. Okay, you've got a problem that's not one of those top 5. Okay, well, give us a bit of information about what it is, maybe put a chatbot in front of there once they've requested it. And then, if necessary, allow them to have a live interaction with an engineer. So everything we want to do is to make it seamless, to make every touch point as high value as we physically can. And that's really where we're trying to move forward. I'd say we're very well on the road, but there's always more we can do. And of course, there we talk about AI, machine learning, which I think we've heard a lot of today from Simon, so I won't go into too much detail there. But it's all about acceleration to value, getting the right answers to the right people, again, as fast as we can. So Expert Chat is a brand that we use. Effectively, that is Bolt 360. Okay, so we're offering our clients the opportunity to interact with SAP engineers directly. It's not something we use internally particularly, other than, like I mentioned this morning on the panel, allowing an engineer to bring in, let's say, a higher level expert or an expert in a different product area into a particular conversation so we can do our best to make that interaction valuable and not say, oh, I don't know, I'll log an issue for you and go into that same old process. No, the idea is to really get them involved here. And again, what we're trying to do now is actually get development to say, okay, you know what? We don't have this answer particularly within our support and services organization, but I want development to come in and now say, okay, you know what? You guys have a different level of knowledge. How are you going to come in and help this customer scenario? Because that then again helps break down the barriers and it gives just an amazing customer experience. So that's what we're really trying to do. Again, live customer support, real time. We can introduce stuff like screen sharing as well, so it's not just chat. How do we then bring in some of those higher level functions that may or may not be necessary to make it non-static? And I think when we talk about customer experience, we really need to make it consistent, but yet be able to bring in the right people, the right options within that same window, not later, not tomorrow, not next week, but now. And that's really what they're looking for. So we have many different options or opportunities to allow our customers to engage. And Courtney, when I asked you the question earlier today in the workshop, it's a little bit leading it was for me, because we found that if you didn't position things in the right way, people didn't take the opportunity. And they don't know what they don't know. So they don't know that they're going to have something massively high value until they consume it. And all we get from customers is saying, I didn't know about that. Well, I presented it to you about 15 times at every single SAP event. I've sent you 15 different PDF documents. Guess what? 14% we heard today. That's an absolute pipe dream for us. What they need to do and the way in which we sell it is we educate our engineers. Did you know you could have had this solved 20 times quicker if you just clicked on this button here? Let me go and show you. It's all very well having the greatest technology or the greatest ideas or the greatest strategy, but if you don't show people how to consume it, it's a zero value concept, and you've just wasted your money there. So there are so many different angles to it, and it's part of a bigger strategy for us. But I'll talk about that in a second. This is the traditional incident workflow that we have. You have your initial response, you qualify the incident, you gather information, then you're into root cause analysis, which is for me probably more investigation. Then you got the higher level actions, which is requesting system access, prepare a solution. Okay, maybe in 14 to 45 days for a complex technical scenario, here you go, here's your solution. Are you happy? Probably not after 45 days. But what we've really managed to do here is to optimize this through, like I said, Expert Chat Bold 360. It's real time. You put the AI in front of there, and you're really, really driving down that time to resolution. And I think, in some aspects, up to 40%, depending on the technology. Again, we get 1 million incidents per year. We're doing, well, now more than 5,000 chats per week. 60 to 70% first-time resolution for complex technical situations, which is fantastic. Average length of an individual chat is 30 minutes. And when we first rolled this out, who's going to want to stay on a chat for 30 minutes? But because they see the value and they understand that the outcome will be a solution, they don't want our engineers to leave the chat after 30 minutes. And we're having to actually find ways and strategies to allow our engineers to disengage, because customers just don't want to let it go because they know that they've had a positive experience in the past. So that for me is absolutely probably the best showcase that we can have. We look at our traditional support methodologies that we've been using for years and years, 15, 20 years. Now we have, I think when we talk about expert chat in particular, it's about, I think, 20% higher customer satisfaction on a transactional basis. So on a 5-point scale, I think we're looking at about 4.52, 4.53 for those interactions using expert chat with Bold 360 integration. So clearly it's fantastic, but it's part of a bigger portfolio. And like I said, we do want to allow our customers to engage with us on their terms, how they want. Other things that we start to do is say, okay, expert chat may not be the best thing for you. How about we give you a calendar of the engineer that's owning your issue and allow you to book a 30-minute slot when it suits you? And I think that's really where we want to go. And whether it's AI, whether it's more generic, basic chatbots, whatever it might be, they want a faster resolution, but the customer wants it on their own terms. And I think that's really what we want to deliver within this experience economy. And that's where we go back to the business and say, guys, we're driving the experience that's funding your cloud renewals, your annual ACV numbers, all of those kinds of things. And it's like, okay, then it becomes a no-brainer because we own that experience. And we can then tie that back. So it's been fantastic for us. And I'll be honest with you, working within support has become so much easier. I've been in this environment for 12 years now. And now to be able to sit there and say, we are now on the front line and we are pioneers for the success of SAP, I'm not sure I could have said that, 5 years ago. So yeah, for me, and then we talk about the employee experience, and all these messages filter down through our own organization. So it's been a really fantastic time. I'm going to wrap up in a couple of minutes. It's not been an easy process. I've talked about all the benefits and the great outcomes that we've had. The problems were never really to do with the technology. The problems were really all to do with how we've sold or how we managed to sell things internally, how we engage our employees to say these are the right things to do, and furthermore, involving them in the evolution of the technology to say, what is it that you need? We created a fantastic internal network. We call them chat champions. So from the project team to the chat champions, to the teams, and also then out to the customer base, how can we make it work better? How can you as employees consume this more or be more, excited to use this functionality to help your customers? Because that's what they want. So we're constantly, as a project team, driving and delivering and probably challenging the Evolve 360 organization to allow us to deliver more benefits for our engineers. And that's really been the area where we have had the most success in terms of adoption, because they're then selling it to our customers to say, guys, you need to use this because it's great for them. It's a great experience for our employees, which makes it a great experience for our customers. It's fully integrated and it's absolutely embedded, but it's the detail that makes it all happen. Leadership teams, we can see how people are interacting, we can see the behaviors, we can see the geographical, cultural adoption or not. And now that for us, it's become our leading driver for a great customer experience, we need to understand how we can get everyone else to do this. So how is it that our management team is seeing, okay, a chat's waiting, how long has it been waiting? We know the sweet spot is that it should be picked up within 15 seconds because that's what drives a great satisfaction. It's all that data that the tool feeds back to us that absolutely drives us to make our implementation successful. And I've got to say, we have a lot of options, we have a lot of opportunities, but this particular feature within our next generation support portfolio is what has really taken us forward. It's really what's given us credibility within our own C-level, with our own board, but also within our customer base. So for me, really, really exciting. The training part is phenomenally, it's just, you can't underestimate or you can't overestimate even how important it is that people are able to use the tools correctly. Whatever tools it is that we use, if people aren't getting the most of it or using it appropriately, you're never going to drive the full value. So we spent and we redid all the training. We went back and started from zero again because we did such a poor job initially compared to what we could have done. So we reinvested in a lot of training, local trainings, train the trainers within each of our regions, each of our sites, and it's been really, really phenomenal. So we went live in 2019, and like I said, it's just moved on forward from there. But I think that's my last slide. So does anyone have any quick questions? I know I'm kind of at time.
What's next?
What's next? We're not stopping. That's the answer. I think what we really want to do is we really want to take chatbots to the next level. Really want to get a lot more powerful in the AI. But like I mentioned, I think at the table that we had during Neil's workshop, it's how do we tie in all the different factors together. I think we talked about bot to bot. How do we bring all the different aspects of it to deliver a single consistent experience? And we actually see there being a workflow. Okay, expert chat, into schedule an expert, into other little areas. So that's where we see going next. So thank you very much.